So, Aaron, admittedly, 9 hours ago, I didn't know who you were, but I picked it up quick on YouTube, Googling about, because Chiz, of course, you've spoken to him, was like, hey, you need to look this guy up first because he does a lot of different shit, and you don't want to come into the conversation blind. And so I was like, all right. Well, we've all been on kind of a fitness, health kick a bit for the last year or so, getting in better shape. And so I was like, oh, perfect. We're going to have a ton to talk about with this guy. But first, the first thing I saw from you was the Shark Tank. And I wanted to ask, how much of those little one-liners and, musings of billionaires is, contrived, and how much is you actually standing there oh, fuck. They really are thinking this over.
It's funny. Shark Tank, I've been on twice. The first time was a lot scarier than the second time. But what you see is really pretty much what you get. The reality is that, the second time I was out there, or what you see is about 10 to 12 minutes. And I was out there pitching for an hour and a half. So,
wow.
And it's super intense. The whole time you're just super nervous. I'm gonna ruin something for you. Next time you watch everybody's mouth. They're always licking their lips because you get so dry, and you're just all you're nervous and it's something that I notice now because the whole time I was out there, I'm thinking to myself, my God, I'm licking my lips a little bit too much, but you can't help it. No, it's pretty much what you see is what you get.
Huh.
That's cool. I like the way you treated, I don't know any other names other than Mark Cuban, but that bald guy was being real douchey. And most of the time, they're all the person presenting is so submissive about it. Oh, yeah, well, maybe that is a good deal for me, or something. But you were like, no, that offer on the table, ma'am? Yeah, fucking you. Oh, it's good. That bald guy is such a smarmy douche all the time. It was good to see him get a little bit.
It's a television show, and that's the thing that you just have to remember. They want, and the producers want, good, entertaining television. And so if you come out there and you're just submissive and a bit of a puss, chances are your episode isn't going to air. Because can you imagine? Here's the truth of it is they film I think 150 different entrepreneurs. And they only air 90 something. So there are 60 people that go out thinking, that's it. I'm getting on TV. I'm gonna be on Shark Tank, and they've probably already told all their friends, and everybody's expecting it, and they don't end up being on the show because they're just kind of a dud, and there's no real excitement or fireworks. And so yeah, it's always fun to do something like that. It was like my Super Bowl. Doing YouTube videos. You guys know. It's sort of your sweet spot. And so when the lights go on, it's time to roll. And so it was a lot of fun.
When you went on Shark Tank, was your primary motivation to land a deal or to get on the show for advertising, free advertising?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really? Yeah, who could know?
I needed a deal. No. You do Shark Tank because of the exposure. Now the truth is that I think it used to be better for the entrepreneurs that got on the show. I think you heard a lot of those success stories, but anymore it's more just about the sharks and more about the story, more about the entertainment than anything. And so I don't really think people are going and seeking out the inventions or the entrepreneurs that they see on the show as much as they used to. But I went on for a deal, and once I realized that wasn't going to happen, then it was all right, I just need to accept something because I need this show to air. I need the happy ending that this guy who got laughed out of the tank the first time is now walking out of here triumphantly. And so it was little A, little B.
Okay.
I mean, that seems like the smart way to play it. Like the Pete and Pablo, or Pablo and Pete, the hair product
Close
company
enough.
you own.
Yep, Pete and Pedro.
Pete and Pedro, but not Pablo, whatever. Close enough. That's the horrible. That's the Costco
I was about
brand.
to say I like Taylor's company better.
Pablo and Pete. Pablo and Pete Hair Company. No. Did you see a giant surge in sales right after it aired?
No, it's funny. Being on YouTube, the week leading up to it, I did sort of hey, I'm going to be on Shark Tank thing, just promoting to my audience. And I did twice the business from that little pitch to my audience than I did when I aired on Shark Tank. And so, it was a nice weekend. It was a good weekend. It wasn't the best weekend ever or anything like that, but it was decent.
How many
was these
people watch Shark Tank though? What do they get? Like 700,000 views, 1.5 million views, something like that?
That's like 6 million.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would think, if
Wow.
you don't, as long as you're selling something other than like, plastic dog turds, you'd do something. But apparently, I am pitching the equivalent of that because the first time I was on, I sold one system, and I know. Can you imagine? Like, not
I
only
just imagine that, like, leading up to this, you've got like tons of shipping boxes, and you're like, all right, everybody, prepare
Buckle
for
up.
overtime mode.
Yep.
I need all hands on deck, and then like the crickets are chirping.
Oh, it was brutal. It was depressing after it because I thought that I was going to get something. I thought I was going to get a huge spike in subscribers on YouTube. They edited all the things I wanted out of it the first time, and so it kind of was very anticlimactic and a little bit depressing afterwards, to be honest.
Did you get to see the version that they were going to air prior, or when you watch it on TV, is it like, oh shit, I guess they're not leaving the part in where I had a nice cogent point response to this? They just
Nope.
make it sound like
You don't know. They let you know literally a week before your episode is going to air that your episode is going to air, and so you've got to do things like, they warn you. They're like, hey, make sure that your website's up. Make sure that you're all, I spent thousands of dollars making sure that my website could handle like massive, crazy amounts of traffic. And I wasted thousands of dollars trying to get my website ready for crazy amounts of traffic.
Oh,
so
that's painful.
that sucks.